That felt long, man.
It probably was. What's our time?
Oh, shit. 1:55.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to Filling in the Gaps. I'm Justin.
And I'm Darren.
Today we're going to discuss would we call it a puzzle game?
A hidden object game? A hog?
This is Adam Wolfe. Adam Wolfe is, I guess, hidden object game. It seems to be more, though. They kind of were extending beyond what a normal hidden object game is. At least, that's the way it appeared to me. You've played a lot more of them than I have, so I would always defer to your grand expertise in this field. Now, this game has got very positive ratings on Steam, which I kind of understand, but I'm also kind of surprised by, because I personally have mixed feelings about this one. It says it was published in October of 2016, but this game feels older. Is it older than that?
No, that's right. Yeah, it's about 4 years old at the time of recording this, yeah.
Really? Okay. Yeah. That explains a bit, then.
Okay.
Just some of the references that, I don't know, some of the things that they do in the game both seem like they could be now, but they also seem like from 30 years ago. It's very mind-boggling. As you start up the game, you're going to see a cutscene, I guess we would describe it, of him explaining how he is a detective of the supernatural. And they're also going to warn you it is a narrative experience best played with sound. I guess so that we can hear the amazing voice work that we get in Adam Wolfe. The developer and publisher, Mad Head Games. The basic premise, this detective of the supernatural is looking for his sister. You get 3 difficulty levels, easy, medium, hard, or custom, where I guess you can kind of choose what is harder than other things. You told me to play it on easy, so I played it on easy. I don't really see any reason to play it any other way.
The only reason that, when I went back to play it again on hard, the only reason was just so that I wouldn't be tempted to hit or accidentally hit the hint button.
Because you wanted an achievement, right?
If you play it without taking any hints, then you get an achievement. You
have to play it the whole way through, or is it per chapter? The game has 4 chapters.
Everything. You got to play the whole thing.
So from beginning to end on...
No hints.
No hints. Okay.
But I mean, for hidden object games, I love playing it just on casual mode, because what casual mode usually does is it will not only just give you a hint for like what object to find within a puzzle, but a hint will usually say, like if you quit the game and you go to bed and then you wake up and you're like me and you're like, oh, what was I doing last night? I don't remember. You just press hint and then it'll say, ooh, go here on the map. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. And it'll point you in the right direction. So, but for this game, it's fairly straightforward. It's like it's an extremely linear game.
Especially if you play on easy, because even on the map, it will start blocking off where you can't go. Oh, you've already done everything here. Yeah. Don't go back here. And it will sparkle.
Right, yeah.
This is where you're supposed to go. So if you're playing easy, you really don't. I think I only ever needed a couple hints, and that's because there were just things that were so ridiculously hidden that it was that one, either something was hidden behind like 3 mechanical things I needed to do.
Right.
Or the description was a bit vague. There's one we're going to get to in the last chapter where you're supposed to be looking for candy, but also a candy cane.
Right.
And also chocolate. And there are like 5 types of candy. And on top of that, there are all sorts of other bits of candy there. It's like, well, which one?
I remember that exact puzzle, yeah.
So there's a lot of that. And also just a few times in the game where it wasn't quite linear enough. Or I didn't know, I need to backtrack way out of here to look for this object that's on a totally different screen that I didn't realize was there, kind of thing.
That's a downfall of this game when it comes to hidden object games, in my opinion, as well.
It's not as contained.
Yeah, usually.
But I kind of like that, but I think that it could be done a little bit better.
Yeah, usually with these kind of games, they'll have everything contained in a bit, or you'll do a scene, you get an object, and then you kind of like, okay, now the puzzle is, okay, where do I use this object? But in this one, they do this annoying kind of thing where you'll be allowed to go into certain areas where you can't actually do anything until you've found something. And so it opens up a lot of things, but it's like, no, but you can't do anything here until you've found something. And that, especially in the room we'll get to later when you go to like the scene of like the first crime, I think, and you're building the boat, you have to actually go into another room to like find some blueprints. Whereas I had all the parts for the ship. I knew I had to build the boat on the desk, but it's like, no, you can't do that yet. You have to go here and put the parts on a piece of paper first. Oh, come on.
Right. There's a lot of that. There's also times where I knew an object was important, but I couldn't take it until the story told me I could take it.
Right.
And that's also irritating. Okay, I don't want to be too harsh on it. I think that I did enjoy it, but what I would say is that Adam Wolfe is the B movie of hidden object games. Right? They tried to have this story. The voice acting is not the best. The animation is definitely not the best. Some of the puzzles are not the best. But overall, did I enjoy it? Yes. Yeah. And I would recommend it, but I would definitely push for, like I did, get it on sale.
Yeah, it's not cheap. It's not cheap.
So what I'm going to say is I think we need to jump into the spoiler section because we're already pushing the boundaries of that as it is. So, Adam Wolfe, I think we both recommend it, but we both recommend it on sale just because of its base price is a bit high.
At least a 50% sale. $20 is steep.
Yeah, especially considering this is an 8-hour game.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, let's get to the spoiler section. As I mentioned before, the game is in 4 chapters. So we'll look through each chapter in order. Episode 1, The Ancient Flame. We're going to get a cutscene. We're going to see strange fires happening all over the city. People are missing that coincide with the fires. We're told something about the SFPD, which tells us we're in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And Marv, a police officer, asks Adam for help. And Marv is going to play a kind of Deus Ex Machina role through the first 2 to 3 chapters.
Hey, I've got a fingerprint. Run this for me. Yep, sure, no problem.
Yeah, see, I've already got that in my notes, but let's just talk about that now. So, there's some weird things that they do in this game that...
They can take a photograph of a fingerprint and run it through the computer to
get it in about half an hour. I cannot forgive that one. That is so ridiculous. But this is part of the thing that makes me think, oh, well, maybe this game is 30 years ago. But they also have modern cell phones and selfie sticks. So I'm like, well, it could be 10 years ago. But even that, there's some things like in the last chapter where you can buy a cola out of the machine for like $0.25. Which is like, not since I was a kid. Like that's pushing it. So it's really hard to figure out when is this game supposed to be taking place. But even in today's day and age, there's no way you're taking a picture of a fingerprint with your phone, sending it to the police, and they're able to do a proper check with that. I've had to do...
It's a very HD camera you've got there.
I mean, I've had to do fingerprint stuff for work, and yeah, even me sending it in, I've often had to do it twice because it's smudged or it's not perfect.
Right.
There's no way that this random one he picked up does. But that's, I don't know, it's part of the problem. They've fixed some of their problems by having that, and they do that kind of a lot throughout, as they have these gimmicky ways to fix some of their problems that sometimes don't make sense. But yeah, let's get into it. So we can choose a tutorial. You can either have it tell you everything, tell you only the special gimmicks, or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you've played it through a couple times. The second time, did you say no hints?
No hints, yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, and this is really standard fare for a lot of hidden object games. It says, like, oh, when you get a magnifying glass, that means you can zoom in an area. When you can do this, you can do this. It was all UI at the bottom. It's like you've got your gun, you've got the special eyeball, you've got the whatever, you've got 6 things along the bottom. And yeah, it's usually standard kind of stuff for a hidden object game.
It is, but the specialist stuff, I left that on throughout the game just because there were times when it didn't seem intuitive that that's what I was supposed to be doing.
Or even on hard mode, you still get that massive exclamation point that then moves over to the gun to tell you to use the gun.
Oh, okay, because that's exactly the situation I was thinking. There were times where he pulled out his gun. I was like, I don't know if this is the right time, Adam Wolfe, but okay.
Yeah.
And shooting in this game is ridiculous. Was this game meant to be played on a tablet?
I don't know, actually. No, I don't think it's a port.
Okay. There are just a couple puzzles that seem very much like, well, this would be great if I was playing on a tablet, but
it's like
awful to do with the
when you're
cursor.
Shooting the gun, it's like moving left to right, and it's like, okay, and stop, and then okay, up, down, and stop. Yeah, it would make sense as a touch game.
Well, there's also the worst for me. The worst game was and I think it was the last chapter when you have to keep the kind of defibrillator going and you have to follow along. So that I thought, well, this would be easy if I was using my finger, but with the mouse and cursor, it was really hard and it didn't seem to be very accurate. And
the hitbox was all off for that. I didn't feel it that much, but
it was also, as I put it in my notes, the testing of how big is your mouse pad, because the one that goes all the way to the top of the screen and the bottom of the screen, I had to flip my mouse pad so that it was the long way, and
okay.
Otherwise it was too short and it would fall off and then bump, and then I'd have to start over again.
Yeah, my mouse pad is long but not very wide, and so I was like, when I was trying to drag it across, I was like all the way off to the left hand side of it, and like okay. And I was running out of space by the time I got to the other side. Some of the mini games are good in this, but some of them are just terrible. That one is a bad one. The other one, which was my personal favorite, was the sniper one, where you have to run between the rocks. Jesus.
Yeah, that's in this one. So let's get into it. So episode 1, we're basically tutorial wise running through. We're going to get to an alleyway. We're going to see a cutscene of somebody being burned. And then we can see the kind of smoking skeleton. And we head into the sewer. We have to choose, is it left or is it right? They do this, especially this chapter, a few times. But we're kind of basing it on nothing. So you're just kind of guessing most of the time. Yeah. We do find the arsonist. He throws like a flaming bottle at Adam, and his arm catches on fire, which you have to put out. Yeah. Very kind of quick time, telltale fashion. And then we get to the next section again, 3 tunnels. We have to choose which is the right one. It seems like we have to turn off the steam, but only to find out that that's not the tunnel we need. And then we need to get like a
surprise,
a pipe to break open another one. This 3 tunnel section was just kind of stupid. If you're not going to let me explore the other 2, then why have them?
Yeah, say, it's a dead end.
Or give us a clue as to which one is the right one. When you open it up, a ball of flame comes out, and Adam goes, "Ooh, this must be the right one." Thanks, Adam. And basically you're going to get to the first boss fight of the game, where we're going to have to take on this guy in a Zacket's uniform, which will become important later. He speaks of a pact being broken. And I don't know what they were thinking. As you're doing the boss fight, he kind of grabs your hand so you can't shoot him. And then you have to poke him in the eyes, Three Stooges style. And then you can get the gun. Yeah. I don't know how many times I had to poke him in the eyes because I thought I was doing something wrong. No, I'm doing it right. I'm just supposed to also grab the gun with the other hand and awkwardly shoot him. It was just kind of weird. But that poked him in the eye.
Yeah. All they needed was that, like, doink sound.
They may as well have.
Yeah. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Adam goes home. He sleeps. He dreams of his sister Allie. We're going to see this dream a lot. She slips away every night.
Yep.
And wake up and things in the apartment are not the same. So this is where we're taught to use intense focus, which makes things glow. There are muddy footprints. We basically have to put them in order. Obviously, most mud first to least mud. And they do this pretty much in every chapter. I think there's one of these.
Yeah, I mean, I like this puzzle, but it's almost like as they went through and developed the game more, there's like, oh, why did we bother doing this? Like, just label them 1, 2, 3, 4, because they actually even have like Roman numerals on them at some points. Like, this isn't a puzzle anymore. You're just asking me to count to 4.
But even once you've done it in chapter 1, episode 1, there's no point in having me do it again.
I thought they were going to do something with it every chapter, yes, or every once in a while, yes, but not so blatantly obvious where it's like, oh, there's 1 drop of blood here, there's 2 drops of blood here, there's 3 drops and 4 drops. Oh, I wonder what order they go in. Like, I thought they were going to do something more like from the Arkham Knight series where it's like you got the detective scene and you got to put things in order. No. Just in the end, they're just like, oh, this is dumb. Just number them 1 to 4 and just like mix them up. That's it.
And this is something where Ethan Carter did it better.
Yeah.
They did a similar thing. You had to put an order, but you had to kind of use some logic or guess a bit.
Exactly.
I do want to ask this because this is one of those things where in the top left corner, there was a kind of timer that would tick away and then it would become all white. Was that the ability to skip?
It must be because I didn't have that ability. I don't remember from my first playthrough because I played it on hard this time. So yeah, it probably was. That usually, and this is what I love about hidden object games, is that they're so casual that inevitably there's always that one slide square puzzle in a game that I hate, and I really enjoy having the skip function because I can just skip that one. And I think for basically if it's a mini game, yeah, I think it's probably the skip function.
See, I'm sure it probably told me early on, but I missed it. And so throughout the game, I thought that was a timer that I had to try. Or like, you have to do it to earn an achievement or something. So I was trying it. And some of these, it's just impossible to get there before it finishes. Or at least it feels that way. So if it's just the skip ability, then it's not a big deal. But I was worried it's some sort of achievement timer. And I'm trying to get it before then. But yeah, so it's kind of a cool look, this intense focus where you see things glowing and you can point to them. But really, I don't know, I could have skipped it. The first time was interesting, and then after that, it kind of wasn't. And sometimes you're just having to put the most ridiculous things back. It's very point and click. Oh, that scarf wasn't there. Let's move that over there. Yeah. Well, it's not really important to what happened at all.
Yeah.
But this is where I think this is where we're actually going to get the box cutter so that we can open up the box that he hasn't opened in years.
I love this part. I know exactly what you're going to say.
It's just such full of just garbage. And so here's our first kind of
what else is in the box,
our hidden object game, mini game.
What is in that box? Did you know?
Did you get to the end or all the way through?
No, just like it comes out of it.
No, go ahead.
The slice of pizza. There's a slice of pizza in that box. Like, what?
I didn't notice the slice of pizza. I don't think that was one of the objects I had to look for. I was very focused on what I needed.
Yeah, because it's not needed at all, but it's like, yeah, there's this taped up box. Like, why would you throw in a slice of pizza into that box? Okay.
Well, and if it's been sitting there for like 7 months or something, that pizza is going to look pretty nasty.
Yeah. Well, it did have a few flies buzzing around it, but
okay.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
No, what cracked me up was actually, I think for winning this game, you get the cop badge. Your old cop badge.
Right, okay, yeah.
As though that'd ever be useful, but apparently it is. I don't think you get to keep them.
Keep what, sorry?
Your cop badge, like after you retire. I'm pretty sure they take that away from
okay,
you.
Yeah.
Unless he did some sort of, I lost mine, so that he would always have a backup. I don't know. But yeah, that's a bit weird. This is also in a drawer where we get our fingerprint kit and where we take our picture to send to Marv, because of course you can.
Yep.
In Adam Wolfe. And yeah, I guess the thing that I do like about the intense focus is seeing the animation of what the person did before. So we see a person come in and leave something, so we can go over there and find information that was hidden in a file folder, and that will take us on to our kind of next step. With our phone map, we can quick travel unless we have to do a mini game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those come later. This first time we go straight to the dagger exhibit and we see a security guard. And this is probably your favorite puzzle of the whole game, right?
Yeah, this is awesome.
Well, tell us.
All right, so you have to pick up a bottle of water from the table.
Right, but how do you do that?
You move this cup out the way, and then you move this thing out the way, and then you move this other thing out the way, and then you get to the back of the table, and then you pick the water bottle up. As opposed to just going, oh, a water bottle, doink.
Yeah, with the security guard watching you the whole time.
What's this maniac doing? Just pick it up, sir.
And as you're kind of, if you click on him before, it's like, well, he looks serious. I don't want to mess with him. But apparently I don't mind stealing his water bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
We go inside. We meet Saeed, who greets us. I guess he's greeting everybody.
I think it's his exhibit or his museum.
It is,
or something
yeah.
like that, yeah.
And, I don't know, it's just a little bit weird. Because this dagger is kind of the key to everything, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that I would put it on display for everyone to see.
Yeah, it's like, hey, everyone, here's the dagger that grants me immortality. Come and mess with it, please.
But this whole level, this gallery just cracks me up. It's so point and click.
Yeah.
The logic
it's
in it is so weird. You have to go into the display case where you're going to meet a rude woman, I guess, who you're going to see later because she's the sniper trying to kill you.
Yeah.
But you have to go into the kind of PowerPoint presentation here and fix it. Like there are missing pieces you have to fix.
Yeah.
Before you can move on. Then you can start the presentation, which goes up on the wall. And absolutely everybody is so entranced by this PowerPoint presentation that they'll not notice anything you do, like when you pour the water on the electric lock to break it, or sneak into the security office. In the security office, you basically are just trying to find out what time things happen, so you can use your magic watch to check out something later. This whole section is just so stupid, though. So let's skip through that to the part where you have to go back, talk to the security guard. So again, you couldn't talk to him before, but now you can, because you've now snuck into the security office. Adam wants to stay the night, and the security guard's like, well, I'm not going to do that without a badge.
I found one in a box of pizza.
So Adam shows him his badge, like, sure, you can stay the night. Just put on a hat. What is going on with this story? It's so ridiculous. And we do that because at a certain time, that's when all the fires start. Adam wakes up.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing. He's there, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I've got this mission where I got to stay.
I'm going to sleep instead.
And then he falls asleep anyway. It's like, God, come on, man. Come on, Adam.
We didn't take a coffee with him, I guess. But then we have to use the fire extinguisher to basically break out of the place. But then we get our next boss fight. This is where we meet our Ifrit, our fire demon, who again speaks about the pact being broken. Boss fights are awkward. I mean, I'm not good at them anyway, but these ones are particularly awkward. Primarily because it's not really obvious what you're supposed to be doing a lot of the time. So, like, sometimes there's a hand where you have to click on it to gain strength. Sometimes there's like you said, like a gun target, which seems to move on its own, and you have to kind of guess when to hit it. And we have limited ammo, but it seems like we only have limited ammo because most of the time the shooting is not important. And so it's a waste of time.
It's limited ammo until... Well, it's limited
unless you actually
when it's
need
not.
it.
Yeah, you can shoot away, but when it comes later, it's like, oh, you've had your 3 shots. You're out.
You're basically going to have to... You don't even really win the fight. You end up having to jump into a dumpster to escape, which it took me like 3 tries to do because, again, it's another weird
cursor thing, yeah.
And Adam will wake up in a chair in a room where there are these people talking to him. We've got Fang, Antoine Delacroix, I suppose, Saeed, Crumb, and now Whitman is not here because we're going to find out he's already dead. But they're basically trying to decide what to do with Adam because he knows too much. He's seen the demon. Even though they've not exactly been subtle, having put the dagger out there in front of everyone.
Yeah, exactly. This is your fault, guys.
But here's a problem I have with the story at this point. We are told that there have been all sorts of random fires and all sorts of people have been dying. But why? Why is this demon just attacking random people? If the pact has been broken, shouldn't it only really be attacking these 5 people? But instead, it attacked the guy from the gallery. I don't know. I just don't understand what's going on here.
I don't think the writers do either.
Okay. I just thought maybe I had missed something.
I've got nothing either. You'd think it would go and hunt them down. At least that would be more interesting. Like, it would give them agency to like really hire Adam Wolfe in the first place. Because I mean, if I was a rich dude, immortal guy, I wouldn't care if some random guy gets burned. Like, it's not me.
Whitman has died, we're told, because he wanted to break the pact, which are going to be told again later in Whitman's words. There's a lot of repetition, especially in this first one. But basically, we're given Whitman's address and kicked out into the lobby where we can just find a whole bunch of secrets. Because there are all sorts of pictures here that we need to kind of put in order. Like, first we have to wipe off the plates so they're clean, so we can read the names. And then we can just arrange the names with the people.
Yeah, because, you know, in a high society place like that, they don't keep anything clean, of course. They don't have maids and servants that dust things.
Nor do they apparently put the right plaques with the right portraits.
No, because it's all some giant... Oh, we'll make it into a giant puzzle for someone to solve later for some reason.
It opens up a door, but we need a key card to get in, so we can't get in yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to end up going to Whitman's house. This is where your boat puzzle is.
Yeah.
This is also where we get the most teaser puzzle of all time, which is you've already picked up, because of the fire seal, you've picked up the little statue that needs to go in the puzzle in the front of the desk. But you're not going to get to actually play this puzzle until like the end of this chapter.
Yeah, that's pretty annoying actually, where it's like, oh yeah, there's another slot here. Oh, okay, where is it? Not here.
Yeah, not here, not here, not here. Because we're going to come back here a few times, it feels like. Pretty much the same kind of thing. Use the focus, use the watch, try to see what happened, replace the jacket and the hat where they're supposed to be.
And the whiskey.
Yeah. Where you're going to get... Alright, here's the thing. Much like any other point-and-click adventure, you can pick up just random stuff. But I'm going to say it again. It just bothered me so much that you can pick up random stuff when it's appropriate, but you can't pick up stuff that you know is important later on. The biggest thing here would be taking a whiskey stopper.
Yes.
For no apparent reason. I can't use it in this room. It just makes me so angry.
That's dumb. That is a true to the ages dumb point and click puzzle. Like, take the stopper, not even to use in this room, to use in something else that's miles away for something that's ridiculous. Oh yeah, that.
We're gonna get into the safe. This is where we're gonna get Whitman's message, where he basically says exactly what we knew. He wanted to break the pact, and he was kind of killed for it, which is kind of weird because Whitman didn't actually break the pact. He was killed.
Yeah, he was the pact, and then they killed him and broke the pact. So it was, I don't know, it was odd. I like this part of the game, and I like this aspect of the game, and they should do this more often in other hidden object games. Or if this company of Madhead? Yeah, Madhead. If Madhead Games wants to make another puzzle, I'd love to see them make like a more comic book style hidden object game where they do the comic strip panels, and then they say like, oh, and blah 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 blah, and then you have to click on the part of that story to advance the story. I like that kind of mechanic. It's not super
It's
important.
the easiest puzzle in the world.
But it keeps the story, it keeps you involved in the story, and it keeps you focused on what's going on, you know? I like that.
This is where we find out we need a sand demon to take on the fire demon. We're going to end up going back to the collector's place so that we can get into the room. I do like this one. It's, again, just total Deus Ex Machina, where it's like, we go in, we do know that there's a code on the back of Saeed's bust from information we got, but the fact that we have to hit buttons on every statue, I don't know why we're doing that. We go to the top of the area to look down, and we're just given this remote control which can like draw lines in the shape. Yeah. It's just so weird.
Yeah.
And it's not, I think that's part of my problem with this, and probably hidden object games in general, is the puzzles are either so abstract that it's hard to figure out what you're supposed to do, or they're just so easy that you may as well not be. But I think you told me that you used to do hidden object games a lot when you were more like commuting and you didn't really have to think about it.
Yeah, they're more casual. I mean, the genre definitely started out as a casual kind of thing.
But the puzzle box lizard statue I did enjoy. It wasn't difficult, but it
was logical. It had some logic to it.
And it was a bit more like you had to think a little bit, you know, and I like that. That's essentially going to send us out to the graveyard, where we're going to try and get into Whitman's. We have to go to a different grave to get a shovel, break it apart, to use it as a lever, because of course you can.
Yeah.
In order to open the mausoleum, because of course it was broken for no reason. You're going to get in, I think, is this the part where we get attacked?
Yes.
And so we have to get out of the sarcophagus, I guess.
Yeah, some person knocks us over the head and throws us in there.
Yeah, rather than killing us.
Yeah, no, of course not.
No.
Why would they do that?
They're going to leave us in there. And by the way, didn't Whitman just die? But his head is rotted as though it's been there for like 10 years.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, actually. Or maybe is that Whitman's coffin? That has to be, yeah.
It's supposed to be,
is.
yeah.
Yeah, because his body is like well gone. I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
This is like zombie time.
Maybe because he's immortal and he suddenly died, maybe the years just, catch up with you in...
like in Dracula, the book. That's how they would do it. Yeah.
But yeah, I hadn't even thought about it until now. Yeah, it's like, yeah, he's been dead for like a day.
It's very weird. Luckily, Adam kept the shovel head in his pocket so that he can
Big pockets.
get out.
Yeah.
He also is carrying around a fire extinguisher at times. Yeah, so let's just let that go. That's just point and click. That's just the way it works.
Yep. Infinite pockets.
But we're going to do the whole thing with the intense focus so we can see what happened and see the order that things happened.
Mm-hmm.
And find that, that pattern looks exactly like Saeed's headscarf. Like, one, I'm pretty sure that more than one person would have that unless that's a custom design. And two, it just annoyed me because now I knew Saeed wasn't the guilty one.
Right.
There just comes a point where just know. Yeah. And that led me to go, it's going to be one of these. Like, we're just going to be betrayed all the time. So the whole game, I was waiting for Marv to betray us, but it didn't happen. Yeah. Maybe in the sequel.
Well, he does in a sense. I don't know if I want to say this now, but he betrays the entire game. Because you're like, I don't actually get to be the hero? You're like, thanks, Marv. You come in at the end and save the day. F*** you.
Yeah, so we're going to call Marv, or we're going to say, it's Saeed, but on very, very coincidental information.
Yeah, I'm a racist. I found a headscarf. It's definitely him.
We're going to go out to the desert, which we're just going to know exactly where to go, apparently. Not like the desert is a huge place or...
Pick somewhere in the middle of the Arizona desert. Oh, no, we do get that little divining...
that's right. So that's what's going to take us out there.
We've got like a little necklace that we use as a divining rod to find the
which demon. It could find it on a map, which is very magical.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. But it's that coffin where we had to use the whiskey stopper to light.
Oh, to see a secret panel.
Yeah. Yes. So the coffin is also where we had to use the whiskey stopper, much like
Indiana Jones.
Yeah. To shine on the secret passage to get that necklace so we could put the sand in it that we found earlier to magically draw on a map, go out to the desert, watch Saeed get killed, and then do your favorite running from... I had no idea what I was doing running from rock to rock.
I don't know either. I still don't know. Like, I clicked on every single moment. Basically, how many times did you fail? I must have failed about 50 times, man. Seriously.
I wouldn't say quite that many times. It seemed to be whenever she was pointing the gun as far away from you as possible. But the thing is...
She's a terrible sniper, by the way.
Well, yeah, of course. But I think there were some times where, at least once, where it seemed like you had to go the same direction twice.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be confusing. Because it was always... go left, go right, go left. I guess you kind of get it, but yeah, it's just weird. Yeah, and why would she be looking way over there? She knows where we are.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like you're watching that rock. Like, okay, just poke your head out. At least that's what a real sniper would do, but evidently she's not.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the big twist.
Yeah, the woman we randomly bumped into way back at the beginning.
Yeah.
We have to do kind of symbol matching here to catch the sand demon or to kind of bring it out. There's a lot of this symbol matching thing, which I guess is a very hidden object game.
Yeah.
It's not difficult, and...
I didn't have a problem with that part at all. Yeah, that was fine for me. Like,
okay.
Match them up.
I think this is probably part of the reason why I haven't really gotten into hidden object games is they're maybe a bit too casual for me or a bit too easy. There were times where I just started to get really bored, and
which, to be honest, is why there's a skip function. Like, because people either it is because either it's too hard for super casual people who just want to skip parts of it. But there are other games that are like, if we ever go down the Ravenhurst route and we play maybe like Madame Fate, which has got some insanely complicated mini games. Then I can understand the skip function, and it's probably just tradition. Like, oh, it's a hidden object game, let's put in a skip function. But in Adam Wolfe, the puzzles are so easy, you'd be like, well, I don't even know why they have a skip function.
Well, and there's no penalty for being wrong.
And that's another thing. Maybe I was going to save till the end is like the evolution of hidden object games of what they become, because we're calling Adam Wolfe a hidden object game, but there's like 3 hidden object puzzles.
There's not a whole lot of them, and when you do it, I don't know. I could just click all over the screen, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, because in the early days, there was like, you had like, I think in the old Ravenhurst days, you had like 20 minutes per screen. And if you just went click, 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 down, then you'd get like a 1 minute penalty. It's like an escape room, basically, where you had like a penalty added every time you got something wrong. And so it's like, and then if you failed, then you had to do the whole screen again.
That at least makes sense to me. That feels like there's more to it.
Yeah, you're punished for just randomly clicking through it. But I think the way that hidden objects games evolved was that I don't know, maybe people didn't like that. They wanted it somewhere in between, like casual but not too casual, like take away the timer. Even me, I kind of disagree with the timer. I'm glad that they got rid of that for most of the hidden object games. I wasn't really into that, but at least there's a penalty. But now it's more just of an inconvenience, where it's like if you click, 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 the screen freezes and you just got to wait for it to thaw out.
Now we've taken out the sniper, and Saeed has given us the dagger because he just happened to have it on him, I guess. But we're going to end up going back to the collectors. We're going to find Fang and Crumb are already dead. Delacroix is there. I don't get the logic of this, right? But I did put in here, of course, it's always the nicest person who's going to be like the betrayer. So no surprise there. But it sounds like he really wasn't behind it all from the beginning.
No.
And so I was just really confused by did you understand what was going on here?
No. I mean, from what he said was...
It sounds like Crumb and Fang did the assassination to begin with. But by killing Whitman, that breaks the pact, and that's the thing that puts them all in danger.
The problem was that Whitman wanted to do something. And so the they're like, no, we want to live forever. But Whitman was like, I'm out, basically. I don't want to do this anymore. So they had him killed. And then after they had him killed, then they broke the pact. And now that they've broken the pact...
I don't know why they would come after him, but yeah, it just becomes, let's kill them before they kill me. And yeah. All right, so...
a Mexican standoff.
We get to unleash the demons who are going to, well...
duke it out.
Yeah. And Delacroix's corpse has the infinity symbol on it that's made out of a snake, much like the watch and much like the picture of Allie that we found before. Mm-hmm. And Marv calls up with the amazing sting. That fingerprint in your apartment, that was Allie's. She's still alive. Yeah. And she was right there. And it makes no sense that she would be giving you information or want you there in the first place.
Makes no sense why we have her fingerprint on database either. Is she a criminal?
Well, we don't know about Allie's past. But yeah, it's... Anyway.
What's that? Yeah.
I just find the whole Allie story stupid. None of it makes any sense. I mean, and it's the thing that's supposed to hold the whole story together. I
was disappointed in the Allie story, to be honest. It's like... if they're going to do something like... I thought they were going for something like the sister from Constantine. Like
or X-Files. I was expecting this to be like Adam Wolf 1, Adam Wolf 2, Adam Wolf 3. We would get a teaser for her in each game. But instead, this whole game is just about her.
She becomes the main story. Yeah, it's weird. So on to Ep 2, which I have 0 notes for, because I stopped taking notes at this point. I was like, yeah, I'm done. I know. It's not exactly hard to follow this game.
No, and in fact, by episode 3, it just felt kind of punishing to take notes about this, because it's just not.
Yeah,
really.
It's like, I mean, if you got
especially when it starts repeating and repeating.
If you say this is the chapter with the guy with the dead hand, it's like, okay, I got you, right? Okay,
well, that is this one. Yeah. So the devil, we start in the bar, and this is where Adam Wolf starts to do the 18 hours before. So we start. And we know Adam's going to survive to a certain point because he's in the bar with what looks like a giant Rubik's Cube made of stone.
I like this puzzle. I do like this puzzle because I love puzzle boxes. So I like this one.
Okay. But the story part of it is weak.
It's better than the first chapter, to be honest.
True. And better than the third and fourth, I would say. This is probably, I think, the best story-wise.
I think this is the best story-wise, yeah.
Yeah, so we cut back to another dream of Allie, and Adam Wolf has a raven, because of course he does, named Hubris, that wakes him up. And we have... This is something I love about this game. It doesn't rush you, kind of ever. Mm-hmm. So you can sit there... Des, as we're going to find him, is trying to knock on the door. He knocks on the door for like 5 minutes because I was getting everything out of the room that I could.
Right.
Before that we get to the cutscene. So I'm just hearing all this knocking where I'm like, oh, what's on my desk? Oh, what's in my drawer? Oh, I've got to put together my fingerprint kit because for some reason I took it apart.
Be there in a minute.
He never even says that.
Yeah.
And so Des... He's very persistent.
Yeah.
Just knocking, Mr. Wolf, Mr. Wolf, Mr. Wolf.
No, you're in there. I can hear you putting together your fingerprint kit.
And basically, he brings in this mysterious cube that he wants us to solve. He says his daughter Susanna is very sick, and what's inside might cure her, but we don't really know why. And foolishly, we do it anyway. The puzzle box is pretty simple.
Yeah.
We just have to create a channel for the power to go through. Look, this is where I get kind of annoyed, though. Mm-hmm. Des is an archaeologist.
Yep.
And as we're going to find at the end, he's sort of possessed by this ancient demon. And being an was it archaeologist that he was?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And an age-old demon, and he can't figure out the simplest puzzle box in the world? I've tried, and I can't do it. Well, you have to turn the dial.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Done.
Ta-da.
But the cube goes crazy, starts breaking everything. And there's a red box inside. Again, fingerprint to Marv.
Mm-hmm.
And There's this book that irritates me because we can see it, but we can't take it.
Rituals.
The ritual book, which is one of my favorite things, because when we do finally take the ritual book down and open it up, it's full of just garbage as well. It's not just a book. It's got all sorts of things in it that there's no way could be fitting in a book.
Yeah.
It's just so... It's almost as though 12 different people are putting this together, and they're not really telling each other what they're doing.
Right, yeah.
There's going to be something they need to pull off the shelf. It's going to be full of stuff.
Yeah,
I'll make it a book.
Like a box? No. I'll just make it a book, yeah.
You can fit a candle in a book, right?
Yeah. Well,
Use that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you're going to... Well, now we have to go check out Dez's place. And to do that, in this chapter, we have a car. In the next chapter, we'll have a motorcycle. In this chapter, we have to do this really weird puzzle where we have to avoid the traffic based on where the traffic will be once we start.
Yeah, so you have to fail it at least once.
Yeah. Rather than letting the GPS do it for us, which
Yeah.
would be what would happen in real life, we're going to tell the GPS where we're going, exactly how we're going. What's the point of having it? And, I can't go that far. I don't have enough gas. Well, then how are you going to get anywhere after that?
Yeah. I'm going to use all my petrol getting there and then just abandon my car.
Why don't we
Call an
stop
Uber.
on the way? This is where we're going to have to break in. So we're going to have to break into an abandoned van to get things like duct tape, a broken umbrella.
A bottle opener.
Yeah. We're going to have to... I mean, in some ways, Adam Wolfe is very clever because he can use whatever tools he has, even sometimes when he has better tools available, to get done what he needs to get done. So we're going to take a wheel off of a shopping trolley to put that onto a dumpster so that we can climb on top of it, because climbing on top of the shopping trolley wouldn't have been tall enough, I guess.
Yeah.
And use the
hook
from the umbrella to open it up. To get in, to basically, we're going to do some stuff. A lot of lockpicking that's really weird in this game.
Right, yeah.
And this is the first one, I think, where we have to actually do a lockpick. And it's like, well, we have to keep picking them until we get the right order. It's like, well, I'm pretty sure in real life you have to go in order to make this
Front to
work.
back, yeah.
You can't just go 3, 2, 4, 1. Yeah.
I think that's the answer to the puzzle, isn't it?
It's something like that, because I remember the third one was the one I clicked down and went, oh, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah. Still better lockpicking than Fallout 3.
Dez is mad because we apparently scared Susie very much, but she didn't seem bothered, to be honest. Yeah. But now we know that there is a sick girl, and we're going to find out that Dez got this box from some guy who sells stuff at the pier. So we have to go to the pier.
Yeah. Dodgy Dez, yeah.
So we go down to the pier. We find a boat, but we need oars for it. So we need to take one from a hobo who's cradling it like a teddy bear, which we do by opening a soda can near him.
Yeah, he instinctively goes to grab it.
Instinctively goes for that soda,
yep.
I guess. A fairly broken oar that we're going to use that was holding up
like some kind of stand or something.
Yeah, like a vendor
stand or something.
And we're going to barely keep it going with this little stick, but it doesn't really matter anyway because the whole thing falls apart. We need it to fall apart.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Because there are pieces in there we need. And this is one where it's like, oh, this hidden object game is like, oh, okay, this is ridiculous. There are all sorts of useful things here, but we need to get the one thing that the game tells us is useful.
Yeah.
So we do that. We're going to head out to the pier. We're going to have to move a boat out of our way. There are a lot of like little extra things like, okay, do I really have to? Come on, game. We're going to meet Walt, who runs some sort of weird shop out of a derelict old, like a huge shipping boat of some kind.
With a hole in the side of it, it looks like.
Thugs have come in and stolen his stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so he won't give us the information we want until we find his stuff. His stuff is attached to a buoy outside and sunk. So they went to all the hassle to steal it, to just leave it 5 feet away from where they stole it.
Yeah, as you do.
what kind of Italian Job Ocean's 11 thing are they running? There must be a much bigger thing going on than this.
Yeah.
But by the time we get back, Walt's been shot, so we have to figure out who murdered him or how he was murdered. And so we have to take stuff from now into the past to replace them.
Which was annoying. I struggled with this on hard with no hints because I was like, I'm missing something. I managed to glue the sign back up, but then I was like,
yeah, that was the only thing I did, and then I needed a hint because I didn't know.
Like, where's the shotgun? Because I this is the first time you have to actually use real life objects.
Yeah, where you have to be in the present, grab them, and then take them to the past.
So I was like, I've missed something here. So I ended up searching around quite a lot to find that shotgun. But it's in the screen before. But
this is also where you're going to get your coin box, where it's like if you just have one more coin, it'll open. So you have to get all your coins.
Oh, yeah. Like you wouldn't just like hold it in place and drag it down and then
no, of course not. Even though that's so obvious.
Yeah. Like at least cover it up or something like that. Like if you want it to be that kind of puzzle, like, oh, you need 3 coins because you got to fill the spaces in here. It's like, but there's a hole in it. I can just drag it down and drop it in there. I'm like, no, you can't do that. That would be logical.
Yeah, we can't do logical stuff. We're going to go back to Adam's apartment. This is where we get our ritual book. It's just full of garbage. And it talks now about the ley lines, where magic is at its strongest. We need to find where it's crossing over. This takes us to Eagle's Point, where we need to place the demonic figurines. We need to do the matching game to get the pieces for the statues. And then once you've solved all 4, demon hands will reach out and claw away the red box, so you now have the stone box from the beginning, which takes us back to the bar where we're going to talk to Jimmy and find out he's an alchemist.
Moonlighting. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, makes potions.
Your name is on this list. I wonder why, Jimmy. Well, I might have an idea. Let me pull back this bar. Oh, yes, here's all my evil chemical
the James
stuff.
Bond of alchemists. Yeah, he's like got the whole rack.
Yeah, so now we have the fun activity of going to retrieve all the ingredients we need for this. So we have to go back to Eagle's Point to get poppies, to grind up the poppy seeds. We need to go back to the apartment to get a raven feather. But, I can guarantee you there are all sorts of feathers all over this place, especially after that cube went nuts and the raven was upset. But no, we have to give it a bowl with grapes in it so that a feather will fall out now because it wouldn't have fallen out before.
Yeah.
And the dead man's hair, which I did like this. We do have to go back to Walt and get the hair.
The scene of the crime, yeah.
And I kind of like the fact that we are going back to each scene, that it was useful not once, but at least twice. But again, Adam's getting through with this old badge.
Yeah.
Like, you're pushing your luck with this old badge business.
Yeah, especially at the scene of a crime. Like, hey, can I come and mess with this? No. Oh, but I've got a badge. Oh, yeah, sure, come on. Yeah.
I'll give you a couple hours.
Yeah, there you go.
So we're at Jimmy's place, and he can't grab anything for himself, so we have to grab it all off the shelf for him. And we make it, and he gives us a potion that I will call the potion of mostly dead. It's going to make you as close to death as possible, but not really dead. And you need a dying person's blood. So we go back to Dez's place, we get the blood, but this is where we find out Susie has a messed up demonic hand.
Yeah.
What's going on? But this explains something to me, because I kept noticing Dez stands in a really weird way where he's always got his hand in his pocket.
Ah, right, okay.
But I guess it's to hide the fact that he doesn't have a hand. So now we kind of understand, but once we understand, he's still putting his arm in his pocket all the time.
Maybe they just hadn't animated a hand for him then.
It's something. Like they do at the end of this chapter, but it's just weird that it's like, well, once the cat's out of the bag, we can see his thump. That's okay. Yeah. Like you don't have to keep hiding it. But maybe it was cheaper to just use the same art over and over again, right? The most ridiculous part of the game where we get to die. Almost.
Bill and Ted's.
We get to meet death. We get to play a game as many times as we need to.
You sunk my battleship.
But this game kind of irritates me because I like the idea of it, but it really feels like the game is cheating.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it is cheating. Because I don't remember my first time playing it. I'm pretty sure I failed it, but the second time I knew exactly what I was doing, and it was like, I didn't even remember it, but I just knew not to mess around and just do exactly. If you follow the path exactly, like just go for it, then it'll be fine. But it does cheat. It's got a stacked deck of cards where it's like...
Oh, totally, because the whole point of the game is to steal the other person's card. It isn't to make your own. I think you can make one, but you end up having to kind of steal twice. Yeah. And as soon as you have one, it's like death immediately has 4 of a kind and steals your card. It's like, come on. So, yeah, it took me a few tries to get this. But I think that's because I started off trying to play it as though it was fair, and it wasn't.
No, it's not fair at all. Yeah.
I like the look of death in this game, but it's kind of stupid. I mean, here he's playing a game. I'll let you play until you win, even though I'll let you play until I win, even though I really want to win. Yeah, it's just a bit weird. And well, your time is coming, Adam Wolfe. Well, yeah, everybody's time is always coming. Yeah. Like, it's kind of an empty threat. But yeah, here we are going to get out with basically what we need, right? Dez is still holding the gun, and like I said before, he's still got his hand in his pocket. Cutler appears basically out of nowhere and appears to kill Dez. And there's a boss fight on the roof with Cutler. We have to... This is one of those times where we have to build up strength by clicking on it. Yeah. And then we basically have to do a Simon game where we have to memorize what order to press things. Right punch, left punch, left kick. You know, it's a bit Parappa the Rapper without the song. That's going to build up.
Time wasn't always on my side.
More and more. And victory gets Adam thrown into a dumpster. You don't really
You know how
win.
they say time and tide
Cutler
wait for
appears
no man,
and
right?
he says that Dez and Susie...
My name is Adam
I don't
Wolfe.
even talked about Cutler before, so I should probably mention he's the weird
Through
cultist.
solving extraordinary cases,
Of course, the last of his
I began to
kind,
unravel a string
trying
of
to
events
stop the
greater than
human
even
head.
my own
Why is
personal
it
play.
always the last of their kind?
What I eventually found
I'm the last
is much
one to
more than
protect
what I bargained
the
for.
world from this demon head. Yeah, in the apartment, we see Dez, who appears to be dead, and then suddenly we go into Susie's room, and he's there again, and he's talking. I mean, the whole boss fight section of this. I don't mind the Simon thing. I was okay with
This is
that,
my
but
story.
Then shooting Cutler, like I said, all the shooting in this game. But basically, we're going to use Susie's pendant to open the box that Death gave us. Now we have the hand. The hand Dez puts onto his stump of an arm, and
Time wasn't
now
always on
magically
my
heal his
side.
daughter. Yay!
Well, he can't heal her. He's going to use her body as
You know
a
how they
vessel,
say time and
basically.
tide wait for no man,
Yes,
right?
but he can't heal her.
But
My
it's
name
his
is
own
Adam Wolfe.
self-interest. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
I'm not going to argue
Through
that,
solving
but he
extraordinary
does
cases,
heal her. She's dying,
I began to
And he
unravel a
needs
string of
the
events
vessel,
greater than even
so
my own
he's
personal play.
healing her so that he can use
What I
her
eventually
later.
found
her to basically
is
sell
much
her
more
soul
than what I
into
bargained for.
slavery. Yeah. And you don't have a choice. So it's like, do you want to give me the hand? No, I don't. Like, really want to? No, I'm fine. I'm not doing this. Like, do you want to continue the game? Yes. We'll give her the hand then. Yeah.
This is my story.
Yeah, he seems like an okay
He's a
guy.
good, he's a cool demon.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a different culture we don't understand. But on his hand is the infinity symbol again, which is, I mean, we see it throughout this whole game, which I guess is the point. But it's even on
Time
Death's
wasn't always on
forehead.
my side.
It's clapped into his skull.
But they almost act like we don't know what the infinity
You know
symbol
how they say
means
time and
from the
tide
beginning.
wait for no man,
It's
right?
timeless. Well, Yeah. Infinity. All right. If we're talking about time, then it means as much time as you need. It's all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Like, Adam Wolfe, we know. We know. You don't have to keep telling us. We know. But yeah, that pretty much ends that. Adam says he wants answers, which means that he and Des are going to have a drink at the end here, which leads into the beginning of Chapter 3. Chapter 3, my least favorite in the game.
Yeah, Chapter 3 is the painting one, yeah?
Yeah, it's just trying to set up Chapter 4, essentially.
Yeah.
But it just has some of the worst bits in it. So let's go through it quickly.
Yeah.
We're talking to Des, lots of exposition. The snake infinity symbol represents endlessness, duh. And then there's this cult, and he's like, no one's safe from it. And yeah, basically, we're just told a bunch of stuff. We can't get into the clock shop, so we know we're going to have to get into it later. We're going to end up going to a painter's house because Des says this is the last time he saw the symbol. We're going to see the guy who had been drinking at the bar, who's got kind of like a mohawk.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see him taking a million pictures of the house from the outside because if you do anything else, again, he will keep doing it until you interact.
Mm-hmm.
So he can sit there and take pictures for 5 minutes. This is your favorite character in the game.
Don't know who this guy is, man, but sorry. You've got a lot of work to do on your acting game.
Yeah, so we're going to say, hey, why are you taking pictures? It's a free country. Like every line he says just sounds so cliche and terrible.
So bad.
We're going to go inside the house. We're going to see that there's stuff floating around. Apparently, there's a ghost banshee that is haunting the place. We don't know it's a banshee yet. We're going to find that out. Mm-hmm. We have to take pictures of the stuff, and then Adam Wolfe has an app for everything. So we're going to do a matching game here, which is going to turn the shapes of the objects into pieces of the picture, which we'll put together and find out it's Lisa, the dead wife of the painter, and that she is a banshee. That's all in the app, which is very convenient.
Very good app.
And the only way the app tells us to get the banshee is to find something she loved and have it broken by the person she loved. Mm. So he says, well, clearly it would be the brush that I got her. The paintbrush he got her. Yeah. That just looks like a standard paintbrush. And it flew out the window, so we have to go find it outside. We have to, again, use our intense focus to look at all the pieces. Oh, yes. There's paint on the statue, on the window, on the fire hydrant, and on the grate. Let's put it in order. It's a small paintbrush, and there was so much paint.
It's a ghost paintbrush, man.
I guess. This is the amount of paint you'd expect for like painting a whole wall, not a little portrait, which is the type of brush we're given. Anyway, we go inside. Ross breaks it, and we are taken upstairs to the unfinished paintings he'd decided to frame and hang that she had started but never finished because they're all missing one tiny element each. We need to go get her pearl necklace, for which we have to open up her shrine that Ross has to her, which is a little creepy.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have a bedroom, but he has this shrine to his wife. So we have to find all the pieces rather than just saying, hey, Ross, what's the code to the shrine? We have to find all the pieces of paper, and
that's right, yeah.
Even though we can see the numbers, we have to tape the pieces together first before we can use them.
That's right, yeah, you gotta use the tape.
Then we get inside, we get the pearls. He looks at the pearls so that he can paint them because he's not a good enough painter to use without reference or be able to look it up on the internet. Yeah. So
or just fill in the blanks on the painting that she left, like
that are glowing to us. It is a cool thing though once we get in because we can touch the painting. Adam touches the painting and we get a bit of backstory. Yeah. We're actually seeing through her eyes, which I like actually. I think that's a good game story mechanic here. But then we have to, we meet Vite for the first time, who's the guy in the white suit, who's, as far as we know, the head of the cult.
And if I was going to live forever, I would not want that guy as my boss. He's a pain in the ass, man.
Yes. I mean, even in this scene.
He's so smug. Like, God, you got to live eternity with you? That's not worth it, man.
Even in this scene, he's just very impatient. I'm trying to decide what I'm doing for the rest of my life and all eternity. And you're like, come on, hurry up.
Yeah.
It's like,
Aren't you timeless? Like, yeah.
You all kind of be patient.
Yeah. You got to get used to this, and you're into this for the long haul, and you can't just give me 5 minutes to like get my stuff together.
But here's another time where we have to get a piece of paper, we have to get a pen so we can write the letter, then we have to get an envelope so that we can put the letter in the envelope before we can put it in the drawer.
And the coin.
Oh, and we also have to write his name on it on the back of the envelope, which makes no sense. And we need to hide it in a place that Ross can't get to. This is great. Good thinking, Lisa. What really gets me, I think, about this whole scene is we know it's happening in the clock shop, but it's just like, yeah, I think it is that. It's just, why would she leave the letter here? And why
in a
put
place
it,
that he'll never find it?
Yeah, and why in a place that once we get there is hidden away in this like locked cabinet that we can't get into?
Yeah,
it's just baffling.
Because game.
Yes, we do find out that he was sick, that Ross was sick in this scene, which I guess is important. Though we're going to hear it again later. We're going to go. It's a lot of going back to Ross all the time.
Yeah.
So we go back to Ross now in the real world so that we can go to the clock shop and get that letter. We do this by, first, the clock shop is closed, so we have to kind of seduce our way in, not by seduce or bribe, which are the options we're given, but by showing the note or reading the note that we found on a post-it earlier, which is a kind of poetic quote. Oh, I didn't know you like poetry. Come on in, sir, and spend as much time as you want, even though we're already closed.
Well, it's a code, isn't it? It's like a secret handshake, isn't it?
That would make sense. If that's what's going on, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Our Mohawk guy is there again, saying terrible things.
I love how he bumps into you as well. Oh, that guy bumped into me. He makes a big deal out of it. Like, he pushed me. Yeah. Well, you did push him and break his camera earlier, so, I mean, fair's fair.
I think that was my favorite of his lines.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Hey, my camera, bro. And it's not even really broken. It just is magically not. It doesn't have a lens anymore. It's just very weird.
And anyway, you left a whole bag on the stairs, man, as well.
Full of about 12 cameras that we're going to have to search through, yeah. But to get this letter, very point and click logic. Hey, here's this watch. Let me ask for an engraving that's 12 words long, and then I'll just have access to the shop and can get in. And Allie worked here? I didn't know that. And there's just all sorts of things going on in this.
Yeah.
We get the letter, we take it back. He can now paint the coin, so we can get the next part of the story, where it is, I think, leading us into the sewer for the first time. We're going to have to, as Lisa, cut an hourglass into our hand. We will find out that it does get healed after you do the matching game and are allowed in. Yeah, so that's part 2. And then part 3, yeah. So to find her wedding ring, we have to go down to the Golden Gate Bridge, where nobody is apparently. And when you're there, you have a whole section where you have to break into a shed and put together a scuba outfit.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
And so you're matching item for item for item, and then an oxygen tank that you have to fill up before you can get it. And then you also have to boat because there's missing key elements. So Adam has to siphon gas out of his motorcycle to get the boat to work, go across to climb to the top to find out where she died. And then we use our scuba gear to go down, tie a rope to an anchor to pull the thing off of Lisa so we can get the ring. And then immediately the boat that we had taken sinks. And
which I was very confused about when that boat sank down. Like, what even is that? I didn't even know what it was. It's like, well, he tells you, oh, it's my boat. It's like, oh, thanks, because I would never have known.
And I'm pretty sure it's a rubber boat, so
yeah.
I think it would kind of float anyway.
Yeah,
that's really weird.
Yeah, it's got an engine, and I don't know why you need to get a boat together to swim 200 meters out.
It doesn't look very far, does it? Then we're going to get out of the water and meet our friend, the guy with the scar on his face.
This is my
favorite. Mohawk.
This is my favorite line. I can't remember it though. It was like, what he says? Did you write it down?
You better drop the gun before I drop you or something.
Yeah, it's like,
let me see.
It's like, if you don't drop that gun, then bodies are going to drop. It's like, oh God, come on. Who wrote this?
It's something like that. I don't think I wrote it down because I think I was going through, you told me that he's got the best line. So I was taking pictures of all his bad lines.
And there's so many.
But the thing was, it was like every line he said. So somewhere on my Steam page, it's there.
You've just got all the bad lines of this guy. Well, it's every line. I mean, he might not be a bad actor. I should have said that before. It's definitely poorly written. Like, his lines. He must, if it was me and someone gave me that script, I'd be like, oh God. All right, I'll do my best.
And so we have to go down into the sewer. There's a really stupid clock puzzle here where you put the time that she tells you, but then it's like the one at 12 o'clock, there's little clocks that you have to just push until it says the right time. So it's like 12, 3, 6, 9. It's just a pointless waste of my time.
It is. I like the animation of how the arms kind of unlock from each other.
Oh, I do like that,
I like that, but otherwise it's like, oh, it's just 12, 3, 6, and 9. Okay.
Yeah, there's no real puzzle to this. We did skip a memory because there was a whole memory of her actually getting the ritual where you had to do the matching, like find all the war elements. So you have to find like the sword and the...
This was actually my favorite part because I like this because I like the whole... It was very Cthulhu to me, like the whole ritual, like, what was it? Oh, I've not got my glasses now.
It is.
Because I wrote this down.
It is, but it's just kind of... Well, go ahead if you've got it.
Yeah, it's like because it's like a cult chant basically. This is timeless. Da, 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 da. Everything will be washed into dust. This is timeless. You know, I like that. It was like pretty dark and it was fitting for the story.
It is, but I think it would have done better if they chanted it all at the end instead of one section at a time. Because it's like, yeah, everybody fights and people die, but nothing is as powerful as time. Time is endless, you know, like, and then you have to wait and get the next 3 to get the same thing. It would have worked much better as one final chant at the end instead of just
pieces.
I was like, yeah, okay, and time, you know, like I was starting to chant it myself by the end because you get the rhythm and you know what it's going to say at the end. But this leads into a terrible fight with Vite where he moves so fast that he can catch your bullets. He's like, oh, do you want to try again? And he goes to hand them to you. And like Adam punches him in the face.
Didn't see that one coming, did you?
And then he starts floating boulders at Adam, and Adam can just shoot boulders apart with his gun.
It's like that game, Asteroids. Yeah.
It's like, what kind of gun is this he's got again?
It's a Magnum.
Yeah. And Allie is there conveniently as well. She threatens Vite, saying, like, I got nothing but false promises from you. I won't let you destroy my brother. I'm like, really? Because 5 seconds ago, we'd gotten a message from her, like, while we were hanging upside down on the bridge and decided to check our messages. Then she's like, leave me alone, don't follow me. And yet now she's saying, don't destroy my brother, and I won't let you hurt him. And it's like, well, make up your mind. Storytellers, not Allie. I'm just going to say storytellers. This is yours. Make up your mind. What do you really want? Adam gets shot. And yeah, that's right. It gets turned back around, which we're going to see again in episode 4, as though you didn't just see it. Do you know, did the chapters come out like different times?
I was going to say this in the beginning before we started. I don't actually know because I bought this as a full set, but I think it was, I don't know. I think it was episodic and it came out piecewise. That would explain a lot.
That would explain a lot because otherwise you don't really need that to be told to you again.
Because they have a tutorial after every chapter.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't make sense if it was just one full game. And the story, it's almost like they forgot what they were writing about between chapters. Like, where were we again? Oh, yeah, timeless. All right.
So, episode 4, 0 Hour. Allie is pleading, I think, in a dream for Adam to come back to her and breaks through the... Oh, she says, break the hourglass. And this is where I get really angry because I'm like, I tried. When I had the gun, that was the first thing I tried to do. I was trying to shoot the hourglass.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're on about. The game wouldn't let me. But then we go back to their childhood and Mom is calling us into dinner and Allie doesn't want to go. And oh boy, does Allie have the young Allie has the most cringy voice I have ever heard. I think that they took an adult who tried to do like a baby voice, and then they pitched it even higher, and it just sounds so bad.
It's like Sarah Silverman on helium.
But then, of course, we can't just get her to come with us. We have to find stuff first. We have to go into the shed and find some glue, and we have to go into the tree house and
get some string.
Sort through all her stuff to get red thread because the purple isn't good enough for her. There is a puzzle box, at least, here where we have to slide the puzzle around or move the puzzle pieces. I'm okay with that. I did like that part of it. But I actually found, again, with the hidden object part, like matching stuff up, because there's no penalty or time or anything, it felt a little pointless. But we eventually get Allie her thing so she can build this statue out of twigs. Isn't it so great? And then we find out this is all a dream. We're going to wake up in the hospital. There's a cop watching over us. This level is just so point and clicky, especially this hospital bit. Yeah. Let me drug the cop by turning on the TV, and it has a cable unplugged, so he'll walk over and do that. While from the bed, I somehow get my sleeping pills into his coffee that is way far away without him noticing. And then when he's asleep, I can attach the heart monitor to him in a kind of creepy way. I'm going to find everything I need in the cabinet under the TV, including my gun and ammo that's just sitting there.
Yeah, because, you're allowed guns in hospitals, aren't you, in America?
No. And then you go out, you have to go into the custodial closet, grab stuff out of there you need. Again, loads of tools in there. What do I cut the wires with to turn off the lights? A scalpel.
Yeah.
Not the best choice, I think.
Yeah, not a pair of scissors, not wire cutters, not anything. Yeah, no, a scalpel. Yeah.
And instead of trying a light to see, a light switch to see if it's broken or what, the nurse on staff just goes, "Oh, well, that's broken. I have to go talk to maintenance." She doesn't try calling them.
No, yeah. Just abandon your post. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like people might die here.
Yeah.
So we get out of the hospital, finally. It's just so stupid. I love it.
And you have to take medicine. Oh, I can't go any further.
I need my painkillers. They work in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I love it because it's bad, but it is really bad. Like, the whole part was really bad. We're going to get out. We're going to go down to the sewer. We're going to need to start fixing things because, of course, everything is broken. So we need to replace the valve. We need to use a syringe we got to take oil, sticky oil from a pipe. Don't know why it's there. We're going to need that to attach a sundial, like the...
Oh, this is the room with all the clocks that you have to put back in place and fix. That's right.
Yes. So first you have to find how to get into the room, but then once you're in the room, then you need to take the bucket to get the water to fill it up so you can get the piece of the sundial that's missing. Fix that. That gives you the piece for the hourglass so that you can flip it over and get the piece for the clock that's missing.
That's a gear. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a cog. And then you go over, you hit the lever, and interestingly, you're already dead. You can see your dead body up on the ceiling. So nobody knows what's going on here. And pretty much from this point, we're going to see Veidt again, who's basically telling all of this. There's a statue here. The statues are all going to speak to Adam, I guess, in this chapter.
Oh, yeah.
And basically says Adam's already dead. We look up, we see Adam's body. Reverse time, this is where we see Veidt telling the Mohawk to kill Allie. And we have to go save her, I guess. We arrive at the place we're supposed to. And Amanda, the woman we met very briefly at the beginning of this chapter, she's dead.
Oh, the artist. Yeah.
The artist. She's hanging there. And so now we have to look around the room and find stuff.
This has some weird...
Even though we know that somebody's in the bedroom, but we can't get in there. And we actually have to look through the keyhole, which is something I didn't do for a long time. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. To look through the keyhole to see that the room is blocked. like with the door.
Right.
Yeah, I already figured that out, but I guess game, if you're going to make me look at it, I guess I will. Yeah, so tons of weird logic. Oh, this DVD player doesn't have a DVD. Let me find a DVD. Oh, it's one of Allie and Amanda hanging out, telling her grandma everything is fine. I guess that won't be useful later.
Yeah, for the real Home Alone moment in the game. Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Yeah. When she will come in later, and we're going to use that to basically... So she'll leave a key in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Okay, dear.
Yeah.
Here's your car key. We're going to have to...
I mean, the DVD does tell you there's a secret, like, door.
That is true.
That's the whole point. But I love that, how you got to... Oh, she's at the door. And again, you can make her wait for
forever,
as long as it takes. Yeah.
She's got nothing but time.
Helps. Yeah. Everything's okay. All right. Bye.
We're going to have to climb on the roof to get down into the room with the Mohawk guy, where we're finally going to get rid of him. And then we have to charge up a laptop so we can read some messages so we know what time we need to go back to. And we're going to find all the different things he touched, because luckily he spilled ink on his hand, so we put those in order. We get a puzzle, which I actually kind of liked. It's not a slide puzzle because you can actually just move the pieces.
Yeah, I can deal with these. I can deal with these types of square puzzles, yeah.
And so I was okay with that. I was like, well, this is actually kind of fun. It's bigger. It's a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
And we've already seen this because of the puzzle box we had at the beginning of the chapter. So it works well for me, I think. Mm-hmm. But you can't take his necklace, even though it's so obvious that you need to take it.
Yeah, this giant necklace thing. Yeah, it's like, I need that. Click. No, I need that. Please give that. No. Until it's like, oh, would you like that? Yes. Yes, I would.
And this is going to take us then into the secret basement, because I think because of what we find here and what we found before, we now have the two key pieces to get into this room with another statue. And we're going to have to, again, do everything in order to get the pieces. So we have to find the tongs to get the hot handle out of the briar that it's in for some reason, to put it into water, to put it back on the drawer to open it, because there's no other way to open a drawer.
No.
And then we're going to have to take the hammer to undo the piece on the floor to get the code from the stuff that's written on the wall. And we're going to have to take the rag that we're going to cut to polish the puzzle, to put the clock puzzle together, to get the hands to open the clock, to get the other eye. We've basically got two eyes we're going to put into the statue. The statue is Death, who mocks Adam. Death gives him this book, says this is going to be really important. And then we get to read the book.
Yeah, that whole puzzle is just like hidden object puzzling at its finest.
And I'm actually okay with it.
Yeah.
Some real leaps in logic, but
it's
part of what makes me enjoy them. I think if they were actually really good, I don't know if I'd enjoy them as much. There's something about these kind of point and click logic,
because you know exactly what you've got to do.
Me.
Yeah, it's like get this to get this to get this to do this to do that.
I mean, it makes no sense that the handle was burning.
No, and it makes no sense. It's like, okay, I've got the handle, but how do I even attach it to the drawer? Like, is it magnetic? Like, what? No screws involved? No, just bloop.
It's just very magical.
Yeah, but this book part cracked me up so
I
bad.
I hated this though, because every page you flip, Adam's got to say something snarky about it.
Yeah,
it's like, the Grim Reaper gave you this book, and it's the key to saving your sister, and you're like, well, that's pretty stupid.
Yeah.
Just shut up, Adam, and read the book.
Yeah, there's one part where it's like, oh man, this occult nonsense is like, it's so dumb. It's like, that's your job, man. That's what you do. You're an occult investigator, and you've done all of this stuff. You've died and come back to life, and you've seen a fire elemental, and this book's too much though. It's like, oh, this is crazy. This is just bananas. It's so dumb. Like, come on, man.
I will say this, it's not much of a book.
yeah, it's got like 4 pages. And it's all pictures.
It has to be, because the pages have to be really thick, because you have to put all the pendants inside. Yeah. And that's now that we have the book, we finally go get the pendant off of Idiot in the bedroom.
Yeah.
And now the book will talk to us. We're going to find out we have to go to Circus Square, or Statue Square, or whatever. And we get this is the most ridiculous thing ever.
Part, yeah.
So we go in, yes, because this is my favorite line. Because we go in and we see the statue, and yes, it's missing a piece. You go into the circus tent, and there's like a ringmaster there. He's like, who are you? I don't know who you are. We have entertainers and dangerous animals and expensive equipment. I would know you if you worked here. It's just nothing that our Mohawk guy said was as bad for me as this line and this whole guy. I don't know why he's there. He's just a waste of my time. He's just to stop me from getting to the statue I need.
Yeah.
But this whole part is so just cringe worthy.
Yeah, that kind of, I like fireworks. Shut up, man. Come on.
Well, I guess I'll have to get some. Oh, here are some. But I can't give them to you.
And I can't set them off myself.
Yeah, I can't set them off myself. Because I left the lighter back in episode 1, apparently. So I have to get these kids to do it for me. And I need to find
who only magically appear once you find the fireworks. Like,
oh, are they gone before?
Yeah, if you go straight up to the back to the security guard, then they're not there.
Oh, I already had them when I got there, so I just assumed they were already there. But when you give them the fireworks, if you don't have the walkie-talkies... I'll say, what's the signal? And I didn't have anything. So I had to go back and finish that conversation about 10 minutes later when I found them and went back. And yeah, so then you get them to set off the fireworks so that you can tase him, which...
yeah, exactly. That's right.
We couldn't do in the first place.
Yeah.
Nor could we use the taser 400 other times where it would have been useful.
Yeah.
No, we've got to do it here on this acrobat so that we could put on the outfit, which, by the way, we never change back out of.
We don't. That's right.
Even though I tried. Yeah, so we get into that so that we can get into the circus tent. Ringmaster doesn't seem to care about us anymore. We have to trick a monkey out of his game. We give him a soda, but then we use a magnet to obviously cheat at the game that he's too fast at. Mm-hmm. Then that allows us to get the next piece, right, which is a red circle. Then we have to do another mini game to get another circle.
Yeah.
And this takes us to the statue that's inside here, right? Well, I guess we would have already done the statue on the outside, which is basically the roadblock puzzle.
Which is odd because I was stuck on that for a while because there's no way, usually with those puzzles is that you can only move the block in a straight line.
Yeah, it surprised me because I created a U shape and then suddenly the piece just moved.
Yeah, it's like, oh, so it is that. Like, because I was looking at it going, but this large block, it won't, can you move them sideways? Like, what? I don't know, what's going on? Like, oh yeah, no, you can just move around them. Okay, done.
But you kind of have to solve it before it will move. You can't move it slowly through the puzzle or anything. No. But with that, then we can get to this one. This puzzle is the one that really annoyed me, the 3 colors one.
Oh yeah. I didn't mind that one. Much.
I guess I just didn't understand what I was supposed to be doing. So for me, I thought
it's not very clear. That's for sure.
Even with the instructions, it says something like there's a little hint for every puzzle. What's the point of this puzzle? Mm-hmm. And it's like make the kind of beads the same color. And I didn't know if am I trying to make them all 3 the same color? But then I looked and that didn't seem to be possible. And then I thought, oh, okay, well, I've got a red one, a blue one, a green one. I should make the opposite across it be the same color. Right. But that's not the puzzle either because one of them turns out to be yellow. So you just have to figure out how to make each one a solid color.
Yes.
But it just didn't feel very intuitive at all. I had no idea what was going on. It would have made much more sense, especially because I think it is kind of like one is blue and one is green and one is yellow. I was like, well, why couldn't you have just made that one red so that it would have done what I thought it was doing? But eventually I stumbled through it. I got it. Now we go to the tower where we have to steal a diamond to cut open another glass case.
And by the way, that cut that you make is far too big. Like, you cut the whole table off, man. It's like it's the size of your fist. Just a little square would have cut it.
Well, also, how strong is the suction cup on that plushy toy?
Yeah.
I was a bit worried it'd just fall in. But no, you get that. You put the kind of demon figurehead on, and you just have to slide the puzzle around. That was fine. That, again, is
Kind of
pretty
like
simple.
Solitaire, I guess.
But you get that, and then what do you do now? You go back to where the circus was, but the circus isn't there anymore.
It's gone.
Oh, I forgot. No, actually, the circus is already gone because we had to get a picture printed.
Oh, God, yeah, that's right.
We had to do the picture of the print. So we had to go into the subway, which I thought the subway, that was the only purpose, was to have a photo machine. But no, we're going to go back now to go and see Vite.
And chase him through a subway carriage.
Yeah. Which I kind of like, kind of didn't. I wanted the puzzles to be more interesting, but the concept of going through carriage by carriage I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get, the very first one is full of smoke,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to get the thing that's meant to break a window and break a lock on the medical kit. I don't know why there's a lock on the medical kit.
I don't know how a glass hammer can break a lock either.
Right. So that's 2 steps of logic I'm not going to deal with. And then it's got 1 smoke mask in here. Like, who is that for? Like, if you're really worried about this, there should be enough for everybody. Why is there only 1? It's so weird. We go through, we see our puzzle box from episode 2. We just have to find the pieces and put them on. We don't actually solve it again. We get to the painting one where we just have to kind of Wile E. Coyote it and paint a door on the end.
Right.
And so we can walk through. And I think now we're kind of the point where we're actually through and we get to see Vite now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we get to try to shoot everything, but we basically can't. We find out Adam is in the hourglass and has been the whole time. Allie was tricked. And then Marv comes in at the end and saves the day because Dez called him. You're welcome, Adam. How did you even know where I was or what was going on or it'd be at that moment? I don't understand anything that's going on here. And then Adam has some line at the end about, I guess my time is running out. I can hear the sands or something. Is he dying? I don't understand what's going on here. We were told from Vite that whoever you got to be in the hourglass, they would be there forever to spend the time with you. So the time wouldn't be running out. It's just that they shouldn't be able to escape the hourglass. So I don't know what's going on here. Do you?
Nope. No idea. Because at the end, it's just like, I hated this ending, absolutely, because it's like, wow, I did all of that and I'm not even the hero. It's like, I don't get to kill the bad guy. I don't get to do anything. It's like, yeah, Marv just kicks down the door at the end. It's like, NYPD, everybody down. Well, it's not, it's be San Francisco PD, everybody down. But you know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's it. Okay, game over. Yeah, you won.
We didn't save anyone. Allie was safe the whole time. We weren't. Big twist, I guess, but it doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'm totally baffled.
Totally deflated by that ending. It was so, oh man, what? Yeah, so I suppose that, I mean...
Do you think there should be an Adam Wolfe 2 where he tries to get out of it and save himself?
I mean, I'd play it, yeah, but not for $20. But I mean, I think I got the whole thing. I got for about $5. I think I picked up for $5. Yeah, I mean, I definitely play it, but and for all of its like B-movie cheesiness, it's like it was enjoyable. I didn't really enjoy playing it the second time, to be honest. But I did, yeah. Like 100%.
Was it worth going through to get your achievements?
Yeah, I mean that's it. I got the 100% perfect game done. So yeah, but because I recommended that we play this. But to be honest, when I was playing it the second time, I was like kind of cringing a little bit, like, oh man,
It's not as good as you remember.
Justin's not going to like this one.
I don't hate it. There were some definitely enjoyable bits. Like, this game definitely hits the point where it's not that mediocre. There are some innovations that I appreciate, but it definitely, story-wise, hits that just note of being so bad that it's incredibly enjoyable. And I think that part of that, honestly, are the terrible voice actors that are in here. If they're really good, it wouldn't have worked.
Right.
So, well played. If you did that on purpose, well played. I don't think you did. I don't think you could pull this off on purpose. I don't think you can. People who try to make a bad movie make something I don't like. People who try to make something good but don't know how and come up with this with such enthusiasm, something about that does appeal to me. Well done, Adam Wolfe. You know, you got me once. I don't know if I want to jump in again, but I'm sure if it goes on cheap sale, I'll probably buy it.
I would say save your money for the Ravenhurst games or for Dire Grove when it comes out. Because I think for hidden object games, yes, that whole supernatural element works because how would you explain the hint system and all that kind of weird stuff, and why are you doing these weird kind of ritualistic finding objects and placing objects? So the whole supernatural side works. But yeah, the Ravenhurst games, I like the hidden object games that are definitely more horror based and more creepy, where you're in like, there's a few that are like set in like insane asylums, and there's one called, I think it's something about puppets. I can't remember the name of it, but that was a good series, like Puppet Master or something like that. That was a good one. And then there's the Ravenhurst series, which is great. But the Ravenhurst series does go back like to 2000 I think maybe 2008, maybe even earlier. And so the dated ones are very dated. But it's interesting to see how the genre's changed. And they've moved away from punishing you with timed scenes where it's all about finding objects. It's just, they're like, like when you used to get those sheets where it's like find all the not Where's Waldo, but like Hidden Folks, like that kind of game where it's like, find this, find that, find that. And then people kind of got tired of that, I guess, and they moved out of that to like, oh, what would happen if we added story to this? And then what would happen if we added weird mini games to this? And Dire Grove is another one where it's all supernatural and you're breaking a curse, and those games are really cool as well. So, but they're not yet ported to Steam. I've only ever played them on, so you can buy them from like Big Fish website, but you can't buy them on Steam yet. But they're coming. So yeah, Adam Wolfe, not bad. Gaps filled and more gaps created.